Welcome back to our Brainmore Business Hub channel. My name is Mollen Mukuze, the Managing Director of Brainmore Chartered Accountants. It is always our promise to bring subject expert matters within the Brainmore Business Hub studio so we can discuss all things business related, the challenges that we face, how to navigate around that. Today, I have Dr. Charity. She, on the part one, if you haven't watched it, please make sure you go watch it. We were discussing about contracting, the CCMA process, the employer-employee relationship around in the labor law around that relationship. Welcome back, Dr. Charity.
Thank you, Molly. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thanks. Thank you very much. So in this part two of this conversation, we want to dissect the different type of contracting. We spoke about the employer-employee relationship contracts, and today we want to talk about the supplier contracting between the service provider and your suppliers and your partners, your shareholders around that. So that's what we are going to be focusing on because it's a major element of the business agreement. Yeah. So, Dr. Charity, can you, to start off with, tell me what are the dangers of contracting between the suppliers, the partners, the shareholders?
I think there are many dangers.
Yeah.
I think one of them is ambiguity. I think ambiguity is like the fodder for dispute.
Yeah.
Creating dispute.
Yeah.
It's a source of dispute.
Yeah.
Because you can dispute about any element that would have been covered by the contract. You
Okay.
can dispute about the offer. That was not what was offered. It
Yeah.
can be a point of dispute.
Yeah.
About the acceptance. I didn't accept.
Yeah.
Or the actual exchange, the consideration itself. You can actually dispute. You can dispute even about whether the beginning, when did we start? Or
Yeah.
when, how, or when are we going to end? So if it's ambiguous or it's non-existent, it's the source of all possible
Dispute. Yeah.
conflicts and disputes. Another danger is obviously you as the entrepreneur, you're not protected.
Yeah.
You're not protected from what I like to call economic bullies.
Okay.
There were bullies in the playground at school or
Yeah.
classroom bullies.
Yes.
Who are just looking out for a weak spot
Yes.
and attacking, or a weak person and attacking.
Mm.
So if your contracts are non-existent or ambiguous,
Yeah.
then it gives opportunities to people who you may have brought close to you, but they are going to take advantage of that gap
Yeah.
or that weakness in your agreement.
Yes. Okay.
And then we also have the issue of scope creep. It happens even in many relationships.
Yeah.
Where if the scope is not clearly defined, then a person, the scope kind of creeps.
Yes.
It keeps increasing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's conflict there.
Okay, talking of scope creep, you saying if you don't have something written and agreed upon, someone would just think you're gonna do anything and everything.
Yes.
So which is a danger. I actually personally felt it when we before we started to put in scope letters that govern what we're gonna do. So like your clients, sometimes they think you are the accountant, you're gonna be the lawyer, you are going to be the HR person there, you're gonna be everything, you're gonna be the advisor, and because nothing is documented to say we have agreed to. So I think it's a very crucial thing for entrepreneurs to be aware of, so that they can put their documentation upfront to say we're agreeing to do this.
To put in place the parameters.
Yeah.
Because it affects another issue, which is about performance.
Yes.
So now when the scope is creeped,
Yeah.
how then do you evaluate performance? Because
Yeah.
now a lot of the times it creeps to an area maybe where you're not most comfortable or where you're unable to perform at the same area as to what you actually initially agreed.
Yes.
So then performance evaluation of the contract itself becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So now that all becomes now like a source of conflict, a source of disputes, and a source of loss.
Yeah.
Because eventually you will lose such kind of relationships that would have propped up your business, but now actually are going to be a source of conflict.
Okay, so you for sure, if I didn't really state what my supplier needs to perform, I cannot really say, did you do a good job? Did you meet the objective? Or did you even reach the standards that we wanted? Because you cannot measure the performance.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
measure the performance, and agreement at that point
Mm.
is almost impossible.
Yeah.
You can never agree. They will say, I've reached the standard. You're saying, no, the standard was
Yeah.
possibly higher.
Yeah.
So then, without agreement, then the business does not move forward, or that agreement or that contract that cannot move forward.
Yeah. So me, I'm a lover of performance management in any aspect, you know. So
We should talk about that.
Yeah. No. In the next conversation, we should just delve into performance management, because you see, if you don't have something written, I mean, no one really understands what is needed, which is why it's very important to make sure, even if it's partners, you know, what is it that X is expected to do? What is it, and how do you measure that X is meeting up to the standard?
Yeah, so the contract must be clear. It must be clear about the offer. It must be clear about the acceptance. It must be clear about the exchange or the consideration. What is the value that we're going to be exchanging?
Yes.
It should be clear about start and end dates. We spoke about that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should be clear about required standard of performance.
Okay.
The moment it's clear,
yeah,
you find that relationship lasts longer and becomes highly productive.
Yeah. So to just take you back a little bit, so I think this contracting or this documentation should actually happen before, so that you make sure you cover all clear areas that needs to be covered. And when you draw up that, I know you are not necessarily a lawyer, but I'm thinking, when you are contracting with the supplier, you need to think of worst case scenario, obviously. You say, we are exchanging, hey, you're gonna do this for me, and yes, I'm gonna do this for you, you're all happy. But you didn't really define the undefined things, that the level of standard that is needed, and it needs to be done prior to that, and with the mind that we might miss each other in the interpretation.
Yes, I will obviously think, and I totally agree with you, that agreements should be done during a time of peace.
Yeah.
Anticipating, looking at all the scenarios, what if this, on what is there possible conflict on this? How then do we manage it? How then do we prevent it?
Yeah.
So that will help in making sure that contract is successful. One of the dangers that I'm actually thinking about now is that where there is no agreement written and no evidence of that agreement, then the law, the prevailing law in that area will then supersede whatever activities that, or guide whatever activities that you and your partner, or you and that supplier or that person in the business relationship, what you were trying to achieve, then the law will govern. Yeah. The preceding law will govern, and that usually is not in the favor of entrepreneurs, because maybe you when you got into that arrangement, you thought it was going to be a short-term arrangement. The partner is thinking, possibly it's a long-term, because now it's more favorable to them.
Yeah.
You find that it's because power dynamics, they change during the contract.
Yeah.
So maybe when we were starting, I was the weaker party, or there was a weaker party and a stronger party.
Yeah.
But the contract itself, the execution of the contract maybe gives that weaker party strength.
Yeah.
They become stronger, and they would obviously want to change certain agreements that they might have accepted at when they were still weaker.
Okay.
So, and that becomes a source of strife. However, if the agreement is done right at the beginning, all the parties know from when they start that this is our agreement. Even if when you become stronger, you think it's more favorable, or you can do better, but you still know that, okay, this was my agreement. So then that dispute or source of conflict is actually removed.
Because you are really forced to ride or to walk on the journey that you agreed that this is the road that we are taking, and without really feeling otherwise.
You kind of know what you're getting into, and it's not a problem to them walk through that journey.
I think one of the most important one is the partner, like especially when in family settings, you know, when you're starting, come, let's start a business, nothing documented, or even husband and wife, or even children, siblings within, so maybe with that in mind, Tafadzwa, what are some specific examples, of cases where this has gone wrong? This not necessarily this thing of not documenting things properly.
That's actually an interesting question. There are lots and lots of very interesting cases. Family is almost the lifeline of the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah. In many cases, in most of the cases, they're the source of investors, like the angel investors usually. They're your first customers if the product is suitable to them. They're your first suppliers, and so forth. So they are part of that whole value chain that you as an entrepreneur are having. They're usually the source of your first employees, and everything. So there's many possible sources of conflict, and so there's so many classical cases that involved family throughout time. I think one of the most interesting, I thought it was interesting, was of Puma and Adidas. Do you know that they were formed by brothers?
Even they become rivals.
So what actually happened is they started a shoe company. I think this is in the 20s. They started a shoe company in their mom's garage. Two brothers. I think there was Adolf, the one who then did Adolf, the one who did Adidas.
Okay.
And then Rudolf was the one who then established Puma later. So then they had all sorts of conflict. They even got each other arrested, they suspect, during the wars. And then in the 40s, then they split up, and then Adolf formed Adidas, and then Rudolf formed Puma. And then it's actually quite interesting to the point of death. So they were kind of buried, I think in the same cemetery, and it's like at extreme ends. They so that's how bad it can get.
Conflict couldn't resolve even in
death. It couldn't. So that's how bad it can get when a family is in business together and there's a dispute that arises. I think also recently is the Ambani brothers. It's Mukesh and Anil. I think for decades they were in court together, and I think at one time MTN South Africa wanted to purchase the business, and one of the brothers stepped in to say, you know what, I've got the first right to refuse the shares, and so forth. And then that whole deal with MTN SA fell through. So that's how bad it can get. So I think even like here in South Africa, it's common, it's known like the blood feuds. They come from in the taxi association, where actually people who are related can be fighting, related or friends, close friends. So while they're a source, like we said in the beginning, that family and friends are a lifeline to the entrepreneurial business, or can be a lifeline to them, they can be also a major source of dispute.
Okay.
So these are relationships that should be managed through contracting.
So
contracting correctly.
I think it's very, very important, especially with them family, with them friends, because many times when you have a business idea, who do you run to? Your friend.
You run to your friend.
Hey, Tafato, let's start this. Let's go with that. Then all of a sudden now it's getting big and you never properly contracted, which is something that can be avoided. It's something that I learned through my journey of entrepreneur as well, because it's mistakes that we also did when we started our organization, which not really contracting properly, which is something that could have been avoided if you write down things properly. And I know to people who are thinking of starting business is very critical. Contract properly with the partners. Even if it's within your family, like what you're talking about, the brothers, siblings, blood, and things can go hayward if you don't really contract properly. I think it's a very, very, very important point there. So tell me now, I know when we're talking about employer-employee relationship is governed by the Labour Act and the CCMA, where there's disputes. What about if there are disputes between suppliers or consultants or partners? Where does that go in the courts, in the realms of court?
So most entrepreneurs are small. So I think maybe today let's talk about the small claims court, small claims process. So the small claims process is what it says. It's the small claims. So in South Africa, it's governed. It's under 20,000.
Okay.
And this matter, if you've got an issue under 20,000, you can then go approach the small claims
court. Okay.
So the small claims court looks at where money is owed. So this can be like by tenants that are owing, a loan is owed, a service has not been rendered, products have not been paid for.
Okay.
Yes. So these are some of the issues that go under the same small claims court, but as long as they are under
20,000. Oh, so you're looking at, okay, this case is worth how much?
Yes.
It's something like that. If someone didn't pay up or didn't perform a work worth 20,000, that goes to small claims court.
Yes. So what's also interesting is the small claims court offers the individual. The individual can be a plaintiff.
Okay.
Can complain about the company that is owing them.
Oh, okay.
But two companies, or you as an entrepreneur, maybe one of your supplier is a company, they cannot use the small claims court. So it will only be your individual supplier, your individual consultant, your individual
consultant or something.
A consultant, a partner, a supplier, an individual customer. They can actually bring a claim against your company.
Oh, okay. No, that's very interesting, because I never really looked up in small claims courts and what was the use. So it's very useful. I think this kind of information is useful as you are growing your business, so that at least you know what's out there and what the process and procedures. That maybe you want to talk a little bit more about maybe what is the process around the small claims court.
The small claims court is actually well, you can't call it a simple, because it is still litigation, it is still a legal process.
Okay.
So all the dynamics of a legal processes apply.
Okay.
So here we are saying usually this case starts from the plaintiff, who has to be an individual like we mentioned.
Okay.
They have to claim their money.
Okay.
That, okay, I paid for this good from your company, but I did not receive the products.
Okay.
And they can claim. So once they've claimed, and they still maybe don't receive their money, they can now issue a letter of demand.
Okay.
And then state that, okay, please respond to this within 14 days.
Okay.
If the entrepreneur or the small business does not pay them or act, then that person now moves on to the next step, which is approaching the court.
Okay.
They have to go to the court. When they go to the small claims court, if this is a matter under 20,000, when they go to the small claims court, they can they show the court or the clerk of court. They show them the contract or the agreement. You see, the contract is coming again in place. In the absence where there's no contract, they just have to show evidence that there was an agreement.
Okay.
So in some cases, like we've said, there might be no contract. So they show some kind of evidence that the contract, there was some kind of agreement. And then they show that they've issued the letter of demand, and the proof that that person actually received that letter of demand. Then from there, the clerk of court will issue some summons, and then the entrepreneur is invited to the small claims to the court to attend. So when the entrepreneur comes to court, they must also come with evidence.
Okay.
So if there's a contract, this becomes the first evidence that you submitted. And I think we mentioned it previously that evidence takes all forms, all emails, all WhatsApp conversation, all postings. Or that we've put online and so forth, and on social media, they can also form part of evidence. This just depends on the nature of the case.
Okay. So
like we said previously, all business relationships must be contracted, must be guided by the contract. Because then it's easier for even the person, the commissioner who's listening to the issue. This is now in the small claims court. It's easier for them to establish, okay, this was the agreement. So was it executed? Where is the deficiency? They're able to analyze better when the agreement is in place, and also the evidence is there. And another form of evidence is obviously your witnesses. So witnesses are also part of that. They can be invited to the small claims court. These are also invited subject to the commissioner's evaluation, because the person who listens to the matter is called the commissioner in the small claims court.
Okay. Oh no, that's interesting. So I think I'm just thinking here. Sometimes people just like to say, no, pay the like phone call. Can I have this and this and this and whatever. So it's always important to write those things down, even through via message or an email, to say pay the conversation. I thought maybe the auditor in me makes me to want written things, but I'm seeing the importance of writing things down, be it from contracts, be it from conversations. It actually protects, or it makes sure that we are at the same level in terms of understanding within the organization. So I think
that principle of understanding. Okay, when you write back, even if it's after a meeting, a small summary of that meeting. Thank you very much for attending. We discussed this and this is expected. Wow. We are expecting this. This is the way forward, the agreed way forward. Those small summaries, they will help you in the future, where you actually now need to explain the record of events.
Okay.
Because that's something that is very important when you go to the small claims court or to the commissioner. Remember, the person who's listening to your story doesn't know you from the above store, doesn't know who's lying or who's telling the truth. So then the one with clear information is usually the one who's telling the truth. Even the professional economic bully. Because remember, they know this system, they know this game, they know how to play it. So if they've got their ducks in a row, no matter how good you are, no matter how good your intentions were, but if you do not have your dates clearly, your evidence in place, your documentation in place, you will not be able to stand in court. And you will look like you're the one who is wrong when you're actually the one who has been wronged. But the law is known to not really care.
Until you prove it's the onus is on you to prove otherwise.
Because remember, you're the one at the one in defense, because you're called the defendant when you're there. You're the one who's defending yourself. You're the one who's supposed to show,
I think it's very important. It's very important, especially for the startups, the business that are growing and that are trying to make it in the industry. They are people who know all this in and out, and they can take an advantage of that. So make sure you document everything. I think my team is going to understand from now when I say, no, everything can be on email, So I thought maybe for me, it makes sense as an auditor for audit trail, but actually it's actually protecting.
It's not just for the audit trail.
Yes.
It's also for the court in the future.
So which is very
so
important.
Another interesting thing, like, as an entrepreneur or a business owner, you're now the one used to being the one in charge. But the court is not your domain. Remember that. Always remember that you're not the boss in the court. The commissioner is, or the judge is, because the commissioner is a qualified judge. The judge is. So respect for the court is a requirement. If you appear arrogant before the court, that can also work against you. If you're disrupting and interrupting the proceedings, or the plaintiff, or it's usually the plaintiff. If they're saying the lies, you have to say those are lies. That doesn't happen. Follow the rules of the court. Because if you don't, it works against you.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. I think what are the key learnings from the cases that we have gone through as an entrepreneur who is running a lot of businesses as well? You have some cases. What are the key learnings that you also need our viewers to take into consideration?
All right. Molly, I think for me, the key learnings, I love acronyms, so I'm going to put it in a small acronym. It's AREA.
Okay.
AREA.
Okay.
Those are the key learnings. So the first A is for agreement. Agreements must be in writing.
Okay.
Agreements must be clear.
Okay.
And complete. It's a tool of communication. One of my mentors in research always used to say, communication, this applies to reports, to letters, to everything. They must be clear, they must be complete, and they must be correct.
Okay.
So the agreement must be correct in terms of legally and so forth. So R is for respect. So respect the whole court process. So when you've been invited for summons, respect them. When you're now in court, respect the judge. The courtroom belongs to the judge. It's not your office or your business that you're used to running and being in charge of. You're used to knowing everything and possibly telling everything and everyone where to be and where to go. But the court belongs to the judge, the commissioner. So respect his office, respect the process there. If the plaintiff complains or is saying lies, do not interrupt, do not interject. Wait for your turn. Because this will affect how you, the judge or the commissioner, relates to your particular case.
Okay.
And if you then show any signs of disrespect or arrogance, this can work against you. So that was for R. R was for respect. And then we come to E. E is for evidence. So evidence, it's evidence about dates, location, all the information pertaining to that case, whatever evidence that you have. And like we mentioned, the evidence can be from anywhere. Primarily, it's going to be from your contract or the source, the agreement, the source of agreement. It's going to be from your emails, from written correspondence. It can even be on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is actually admissible before the small claims court as an official documentation and evidence. So E is for evidence. Bring evidence, and also that includes the witnesses. Where there are witnesses, bring the witnesses. Where there is recordings, these are permissible as evidence for as long as they comply with POPI. So that means the person must have been aware that they were being recorded. They must have either been aware or accepted that they were being recorded. So this is your CCTV footage. There must be a warning outside your CCTV footage, maybe outside your door, that this area is covered by CCTV footage and recordings and prayers. A Zoom meeting. That is why we have to ask all the participants to know that they're being recorded and that they're part of that meeting, and so forth. If the person is not aware that they were recorded, that evidence may be thrown out. It can be justified, but usually it is thrown out because it does not comply with the POPI Act. While area is not in any particular order, so the last A is for attend. When you're invited, the summons have come. Do not feel so righteous and so superior to the system that you do not attend. You choose to ignore. What you can ignore are the initial letters of demand. But summons, when now you're being summoned to court, you cannot ignore, or else the ruling will go against you. It will continue.
Whether you're there or not.
Whether you're there or not. As long as there's proof that you received those summons, and that proof is evaluated by the commissioner, and in his evaluation he thinks that there is evidence that you were given the invite, then the hearing will be heard and a determination will be made against you. So attend your hearing. So those are some of the key learnings, I think, in terms of attending the small claims.
So area, as you've heard it. So you say the A is the agreement must be clear, and you go to area is R. Then R, you said please respect. That's not your office.
It's not your office. Especially, I mean, this is a key warning to business leaders. They're used to being in charge and asking everybody to line up. But it's not your place. So
respect.
Yeah.
And you say the A, the E is the evidence. You need to have all the proof with you of how your agreements, your evidence. You need to have evidence. If you don't have evidence, you don't have anything with you. And the last A, you say, please attend, be there.
Don't be arrogant.
Everything should stop.
Everything should. Yes, you're so busy. You're flying. You're attending this matter. You've got this to attend to. But attend.
Because otherwise
it might seem small. And inconvenient.
But it can damage
it is
you.
very, very important. It damages your reputation.
Yeah.
Because if you then don't attend, maybe you will have another case again, and all the rulings against you. Yeah, so
and those court rulings, they get sort of recorded somewhere.
They are
when
recorded.
people are googling you as a business, they see a case against you.
They are recorded. That's why I think, as we also discussed in the first session, that the all disputes can be resolved because they start from somewhere. The best time to resolve them is when it's just still the two of you. The two parties or the three parties involved. The moment you take it outside, the ball is now in someone else's court. It's up to him to decide. And remember, where there's ambiguity, it's the law that supersedes. It's now the one that's operating. So the law doesn't care that you had good intentions. It doesn't care that you were helping the person. The law becomes the law. And the evaluation is made based on the law. It doesn't matter you were forgiving that person. But eventually you then made a mistake according to the law. So avoid going to these courts. Disputes must be resolved between the parties involved first.
No, I think what is important, I think the first step for dispute resolution before it happens is contracting. Write things down clearly with your suppliers, with your partners, with your shareholders, I know one of the important things that we also need to bring in here is the contracting for legal structure, because people forget the shareholding agreements, all those type of agreements, which is very important. So just to wrap up, how can organization protect themselves from the dispute with the suppliers or the partners or the shareholders?
I spoke about the 3 C's that my mentor in research used to always emphasize. I think I would also want to do it in 3 C's. Where we say, 1, contracting must be clear. So the contract must be clear. Who are the parties? Who is involved? What is their obligations? What is the exchange that they're going to have? What is the offer? What is the acceptance? What is the duration? And all of those. What is the termination process? All of those elements must be clear. The second C is compliance. So now you've done your contract. It's very clear, possibly to the two of you. But we also ask ourselves, is it compliant to the law or to the regulating framework? The compliance becomes a very, very important thing, because where there's no compliance, then again the law supersedes. So we must always make sure that if it's a shareholding agreement, is it compliant? If it's a supplier agreement, is it compliant? If it's an agreement with your customers, is it compliant? So compliance becomes a critical thing. And then the last C is check. Check who you're getting into partnership with. Is this an economic shark or an economic bully? Do they have previous records? When you're doing the employment thing, that's my background, so I kind of understand that. References are very important. Employee references are important. If this person has a history of litigation, it's when you are actually evaluating, it's important. Yes, you will look into the case, the merits of the case, if you've access to that information, but it will give you red flags, something to evaluate, to consider, to ponder upon when you get that kind of information. Same goes for your suppliers. Go on the reviews. I think at some point we had a conversation about reviews. Yes, where we were talking about, go on Google, what is the review for this business? What do they have positive reviews? What do people
say about them?
What are the nature of the complaints? How do they resolve their conflict? So those kind of reviews, the online reviews, become very important, especially in the world we're living in, because they are available. Let's use them. See the reviews for that organization, where the reviews are online. And if it's a smaller person or a smaller contractor or a smaller partner that you're dealing with, check for references before you get into bed with them or into an agreement with them. So for me, those are the 3 C's that would summarize my key learnings in terms of contracting in the other partners of your business.
Wow. That's very important. I think you've highlighted that checking. Just know who you are, because that's why we have reference for employees. Where did you work? Who can I call? And you get that. But sometimes when you're doing business, you're blindly to say, Okay, I heard and you don't check those, which is very, very important.
I think checking is so important. What we can just say is play by the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Don't think because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm young, I'm small, I'm a new business, I can afford to not be compliant or not to check, not to do what the big businesses do. Because the big businesses are doing it. They're doing it in everything. The moment you walk into their building, there is a sign that says if you lose your keys, you lose your car car is stolen, that's your business. Young entrepreneur, small entrepreneur, on your small board also write, if your car is stolen. So, and I think in summary, play by the rules of the game.
Okay. No, I think in conclusion, what you are just you have said, I just wish we could go on and on and on. Business is business. There's a game, there are rules in the game. Just play by it, whether you're starting up with a medium with a big corporate. So you're not going to be exempted from the rules. If contracting is needed, please make sure all those are in place. Thank you very much, Dr. Charity. Thank you to our viewers. Hit the subscribe button, the notification button, so that you don't miss out all premium content that we always share. And why don't you just comment? Tell us your experience around the issues that we have been discussing here. Thank you very much.